Yeah, which match?
The PCSL match was very good. And everyone was very safe the entire time.
I can't remember if it was that match or the one before that I had a gun pointed at me. Anyways, let's get the show on the road. Sorry, Connor. See, I'm trying to get a spicy intro for you, and I almost get it every single time.
Yeah, we almost had him that time, but that's okay. What's our podcast name again?
Oh my gosh!
Welcome back to
Raw
Time Champ. I think it's been at least a couple weeks since we last recorded, so
yeah.
Tonight we have scheduled Matt's shooting trip that he recently took, not to New York City, and then we have
a shooting match.
We have some PCSL we're going to talk about too. So let's hear about it, Matt. How was it?
Yeah. So first things first, what I registered for was the Eiger Cup, spelled EIGER. Just look, foreign languages, so people don't know things. But like when I saw the match video from 2023, I was also really interested in Eric Raffel's shooting academy, EGCZ Academy, in Kemper, France, which is apparently how it's pronounced. So I think registration opened up back in May. So I was like, hey, I'm kind of at 5 years within my, at that point, it'll be nearly 5 years at my current job. I've wanted to do an international trip for a while. I haven't left North America in 20 years. Let me put it that way. So registered for it, emailed Eric, is like, hey, this will be my first time traveling outside the United States with guns and ammo. What do I need? And he told me directly, is like, all right, you need your driver's license and your USPSA membership PDF uploaded to his website. That way it acts as an identification as well as a license within the country of France. And then for all the travel documents, I needed the Customs and Border Protection Form 4457. Basically, that allows me to export and re-import my guns back into the U.S. And then they just kind of inspect ammo. And then you also need an invitation to compete at the match. That acts as your justification for being in country with your guns. So pretty much I left the Monday before the match via Air France. They're pretty friendly. On their website, they do say you get your carry-on, a personal item, as well as one checked luggage, because they require ammo and guns to be in separate luggages. You kind of get a free checked luggage. So I flew over, just checked out some sites that were interesting to me. I'm a bit of a religious nut, so I just checked out a whole bunch of cathedrals and churches, chapels that were through without. Checked out some historical sites. Ate some good food. Ate some food that I cooked on my own, that kind of thing, and then went to the match. Had some fun.
Did you have to pay to bring a firearm? Because I had to on Finnair.
On Finnair, on Air France, I didn't.
Oh, that's nice. I'm not gonna. I had to pay an extra 100 euros just to bring a gun each way on Finnair.
So, like, you had to pay 200 euros?
Yes.
Oof.
Yeah, they gave me the extra baggage. Like, it's the same deal where they make you have separate baggage for the ammo and the gun, but then you get to pay 100 euros extra on top of your ticket each way.
That sounds okay. So that sounds like a policy thing.
Yeah, it's a policy thing. So I keep that in mind next time. I'll try not to fly Finnair if I have to bring a gun.
Yeah. So I mean, like, always check whatever your airline's guidelines are, policies, that kind of thing. That way you don't spend extra money.
Did they put a tag saying you had a firearm on the outside of your luggage?
When I went there, no. When I came back, there was a bright red sticker that literally says firearm.
And was your firearm on the luggage carousel? Because mine was. Like, anyone could have just taken my open gun.
Okay, so I should probably explain my flight route. So since we are in Dallas, I flew DFW International to Paris, had a layover, and then I went to Brest-Bretagne Airport. I picked up my bags off the carousel, But when I came back to Dallas, it ended up everything actually ended up in oversized luggage because I still had ammo with me when I came back home. And well, guns are guns.
And you brought
So you're
both
telling
or
me,
two guns?
wait. You're telling me you went to France and you didn't like retrace the steps of the movie Taken?
No,
God
because
damn it, man.
I did not explain that I have a specific set of skills.
Missed opportunity. I'm just saying.
Look, I didn't care for like staying in Paris just because I just wanted to get home. Like I wanted to get to Brest quickly. I wanted to get home quickly.
So when you're in France, what could you do with your gun? Like, could you actually have it in your car, or like they have to be locked up in a case and like in the trunk? Like, what's the deal there?
Yeah, as long as it stayed pretty much concealed, not on direct person in a way, like that would be fine. Because you cannot walk around like with a gun on your person unless you are at the shooting range. I just kept it within my locked case.
Okay. Did you have to take any public transport at all?
No, I actually rented a car. It was a Citroen C3. I mean, it did the job. That's all I needed it to do. And yes, I had to drive stick.
Have we talked about this? Did you know how, or did you just like figure it out?
Yeah, I already knew how. Like high school, I learned, and then a little bit in college. Like once I figured out the bite point in the clutch, it was easy day from there.
Yeah, for those of you who've not traveled to Europe, the majority of rental cars are stick unless you pay significantly more for like a Mercedes or something.
Yeah, Mercedes or Audi were. Audi was actually like the more common car if they weren't French. So like you would typically see Peugeots, Renaults, or Citroens, and then after that was Audi, and then maybe Toyota. Let's see what else is there. Oh, actually, that brings up a point about bringing guns place to place. I could not exit the shooting area I could not exit the shooting range, and then go to the bathroom with a gun on my person. I actually had to put it back inside my case, or they had lockers at the safety table. That way I could just drop the gun, lock it, take the key with me, go to the bathroom, come back in.
How far was the bathroom from the shooting area?
Like less than 50 yards.
Oh, that's interesting.
But
that was considered like not part of the range.
Exactly. Because like at that point it was like business area, if you will, which would be considered like public. But the shooting range, you have to keep all your guns, any exposed guns in there.
Could you just put like a shower cap over your gun and say, "Hey"?
No. No. And obviously, no one wants to get screwed over on that kind of thing. Like, probably they would have told me is like, hey, French laws, you need to have this, you need to have your gun stowed or in your holster. Or I mean, like, you can't have it holstered with you when you go to the bathroom.
You have to have it unholstered.
Yeah. I think.
Did you bring? Did you bring two guns, like a match gun and a backup gun or whatever?
Yeah,
or
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually, because in IPSC they have you fill out an equipment list and you bring it with you to every single stage. You also like marked on that sheet is like, look, these are my guns, these are the serial numbers, these are the model numbers, this is the caliber, and then this is where my holster, magnet, and pouches are. Like, and then that goes with you to every single stage. That way the ROs can look at it and be like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. This is all correct.
I've never had anyone look at like everything I brought. That's like
no one really or I mean, like, everything was kept professional, but like if something looked out of place, they look at it at the equipment sheet. They didn't have to guarantee that, like, yes, this is absolutely correct. It was like, yeah, your stuff looks like it's in compliance. Okay, cool, whatever.
Okay. So once you were at the match and shooting it, how different was it from USPSA?
From my experience, not really, other than it being completely indoors.
Okay.
How was that?
It was great. I mean, like, the ventilation is actually Okay, let me be honest. The range is smaller than what people would want for this kind of facility, if you will. Like there was 5 bays. All of them are approximately, I want to say about 22 by 22 meter. Okay, so give or take about 23 and a half.
What the fuck is a meter?
Yeah.
Meter, that's how long this meter is.
Yeah. I mean, like more or less 23 by 23 yard.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, like the ventilation in there was actually pretty, I'd honestly say superior to anything that we've had here in the US for as far as like a public indoor shooting range. Maybe if you were in a training facility that'll be better. But I mean, like there was one air source that was pushing air in, another one that was pulling air out. That way it's constant cycling of air. You're not breathing in any carbon. You're not really breathing in much lead at all. If anything, probably less compared to what you breathe in here in the U.S. indoor ranges. I see that, Rub. The floor is all like a really hard but very high traction rubber. So like fault lines, like they're still made out of wood, but they were directly screwed into the floor.
Oh,
So they would that way they don't go anywhere. And then targets were mounted like there was like a plastic or kind of rubberized sheet that they would staple the target to, and then they mark off with like a silver Sharpie or something that like the corner outlines of the targets, and then inside the frame, like the target frame, if you will, is a steel sheet plate. That way the bullets smash into it, and it's all collected into like a catch bin at the bottom, which was actually kind of cool sometimes because sometimes bullets hit the right angle. You'd actually see sparks shoot out of the target a little bit. It was like, oh shit, that was kind of cool.
So, what kind of guns did people shoot there?
The vast majority was strongly CZ, so Shadow 2s, TS2s, TSOs, Checkmates. There was a couple of 2011s, but like 2 of them in open. I'm not going to go into describing what they were, even though Khoi, you know what it was.
Did it have with it being the academy?
What? Say again?
Did it have anything to do with it being at the CZ Academy? Is that why there are a lot of CZs?
No, it was just in Europe. CZs are the most popular gun.
It depends on where, I think.
I think it depends on where. Like if you're in Italy, yeah, it'll probably be Berettas and Tanfos. But I mean, I think partly influence and also the shooters that were attending, they were vastly CZs.
Was it majority French citizens shooting the match?
Yeah, it was mostly French citizens. I want to say maybe there was a couple of Czechs. I know there was a decent amount of Estonians. There was
really good.
Say again?
I hear IPSC in Estonia is really good.
It is. There was one guy from Indonesia who I want to say is working with the title sponsor, Eiger Tech. I am the sole American who has competed at EGCZ Academy. We've had a Canadian. But yeah, very, very French.
Nice. And just so you can flex on everyone, what was your overall finish? I know they don't do this gay like class finish shit.
Oh, like for production optics?
Yeah.
I was 4th behind Eric, Robin, and another French dude.
Is this Robin like his kid or Robin's?
Robin Groffel, his son.
Gotcha.
And Patrick Renault, who's another Frenchie.
And
then directly behind me was a Canadian.
All right, everyone's wondering, did you beat Eric on any stages?
No. Dude, like legit, my highest stage finish to Eric was 90%. But honestly, like even though, and that was second for a stage to him. Even though I only had one stage in the 90s, it's actually a massive confidence boost, which means, like, to me, it meant I'm not too far behind. I just need more consistency and better points. Like for the majority, yeah, like I didn't win at any stages on time, but I mean, I'm close. I'm definitely close to him on speed.
Did you get to see him shoot? Like actually watch
I got to see him shoot one of the pre-match days when he was on PCC. I didn't get to watch him shoot production optics. And like,
cool,
here's the funny thing. I don't remember how long ago the Latin American Handgun Cup in Argentina was, but I want to say he hadn't shot pistol in about 2 weeks, and he hadn't shot any rifle in like give or take 6 months.
And he's this match?
Huh?
Talking about at this match he hadn't, or at this other match?
Like this match, he shot both production optics and PCC. He hadn't shot pistol in about 2 weeks. He hadn't shot PCC in about 6 months, and he still placed production optics 1, PCC 2nd.
Yeah, I told you PCC. But okay, so that's about Eric. How were the stages? Like, were they different than what we have here at like the Dallas area matches?
They're a lot more technical and positional to what we typically have. Just because a lot of what we have in Dallas is honestly more of a hose fest lately. But I mean, like, the nice thing was that like every single bay had at least 2 stages. Some of them had 3. And so in order to include targets or remove them, there were black curtains that were like folded or unfolded off of them. That way it would reveal that portion of a stage. And then like a lot of the shooting area was obviously labeled. Like, here's a stage diagram. This is the area that you're able to go, kind of thing. And then like any activators that they needed or didn't need, they would unhook the cable.
Okay. Did they use like mini targets and stuff?
They didn't, but they did have some like half targets that were pre-made. Like, you know how here in the US we usually use like a line of black tape to act as the non-scoring border. This was already pre-cut and perforated with the non-scoring border. I'm not sure which company in Europe does it. I'm kind of guessing Double Alpha, but I don't know.
That's interesting. They had the perforation. That's nice, but it sounds like too.
I mean, in a way, it's like let's just say you cut out a sheet of cardboard. I think it actually makes a lot of sense to do it that way. Like, sure, you're having to increase like the amount of products that you produce, but at least it's a ready, set, go option so that it's immediately available to match directors when they're purchasing these things and they want a half target.
Sounds like a super European thing. Like, I feel like Americans would be like, I paid for the whole target, I'm gonna use the whole target.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I'm assuming this is also a staff reset match.
It was a staff reset match, which made things flow significantly faster than anything that we really do in the U.S., except maybe Area 6. But I mean, like, because the match followed 3-2-1 format, 3 short courses, 2 medium courses, 1 long course, like for every 6 stages, right? We got through 12 stages in the matter of 6 hours.
That's pretty quick. Did you have so you had 5 bays? Were any of them like doubled up to where you had to shoot 2 stages in a bay or something?
Yeah.
Or did they do like
2
5?
Every bay had 2 or 3 stages.
Oh.
Like, it wasn't bad. Like some stages, yeah, it would reuse a target. but because of the dimensions of the shooting areas that were being used, it actually changed it up enough a little bit. So it's like, okay, this is a little bit of a different dynamic. These steel poppers that activate targets are a little bit on the heavier side. So if you're closer, it's going to have a faster activation, especially if you hit it on the very top of the popper kind of thing.
Okay. I also noticed that in Finland, they do double up a lot on bays, and they have multiple sets of fault lines, and like some targets get uncovered or covered for the different stages.
Was the range being used in addition to anything else in Finland?
What do you mean?
So like, were people shooting off on the side for like rifles or whatever in addition to the IPSC match in Finland?
I don't think there were at the time, but they only had so many bays they rented out, and the other available for other shooters. I just don't think any other shooters were actually using them.
Okay, that makes sense. Like we were using all 5 bays at EGCZ.
Yeah, I think at Lappi, I think they used like 6 of the bays, if I recall correctly.
Okay,
that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's like, look, we want to have a full match, but we need to be able to maximize the amount of space and the variety of things we want to do. How do we do that? All right, we're going to combine these types of stages, maybe move around some props to make them more manageable, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they do get more like efficient with their stage design that way.
Yeah.
Do you guys have 5 squads shooting at once then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So pre-match Thursday, it was just one set of squads. Pre-match Friday, one set of squads, and then Saturday and Sundays were morning and afternoon. I want to say morning squads were starting at like 7:30 in the morning, and then afternoon squads were starting at 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. And you all just shot straight through, like no breaks or anything, just.
Yeah, no like lunch break or anything. Is just like bam, 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 bam. Okay, sweet. 6 hours done. Cool. Okay. Let's go home.
Then after the match, like like when you're done shooting, do you just like go fuck off somewhere, or like is there like stuff to do?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like if you want, you could have asked. It was like, hey, because I'm a foreigner, I'm not in the EU. Can I like get some of these things? So yes, I actually did buy an EGCZ Academy jersey. So I'll wear that soon. And yeah, that was pretty much the only souvenir that I took from the range, other than all the photos of how they conducted stuff. Like, and I should also say, you know how we take like, I don't know, 5 minutes to reset a stage here in the US with competitor reset?
Yeah.
They take like 40 seconds max at a staff reset match. But to be fair, there's timer RO, tablet RO, safety RO, and then about 4 target resetters.
Holy shit! They have that much staff?
Yeah, they have that many people who were volunteering.
How much was the match?
Or being where do those people come from? Like, how much was the match?
France, Connor. We talked about this. Goddamn.
Mostly
they don't
France.
Import them from third world countries or something.
Yeah, let's see, what was it? All the RO staff were French. I want to say there was a German in the mix, and Estonia.
What was the match?
People, I assume.
What?
They're paying these people, I assume.
They're at least compensating them.
So yeah, like how much did the match cost?
Dude, match fee was €110. When I paid for my match fee at the time, it was 120 US.
Dude, that's the same as like as European matches. For whatever reason, I shot Finnish nationals this year, and it was €100.
That's awesome. I just don't understand. So, yeah, like how do they get these people to do that?
That's
awesome.
I want to say it's because IPSC actually has paid ROs. And they actually send them like, hey, here's a sign up list. Who wants to go to EGCZ Academy for this match? All right, cool. You guys are being paid, and then we need volunteers to just do reset targets. You guys get comped in your match fee.
Yeah, I can't speak France, but the reason they're able to get people to volunteer in Finland is because they feel obligated to help. Because if no one volunteers, then IPSC dies.
I mean, to be fair, that's how it rolls just about anywhere else. It's just that they have a more professional staff.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I think everywhere outside the U.S. requires you to have some kind of like basic class that you take on the rules and safety, which don't have here. You just kind of show up to a USPSA match and they give you a 5-minute rundown of like how not to point your gun at yourself. That's pretty much it.
And they still point their gun at themselves.
Yeah,
This is my safety.
and we can talk about that a little bit later, but that's kind of how it goes here.
Yep.
Yeah, they have more standardized training, I guess. Even though it's not.
I want to say they have more of a process compared to what Americans have.
More of a what?
I want to say they have like a more like dedicated process to as compared to what Americans have. It's like, hey, go do that. Instead of like, hey, we're gonna go A, B, C, D, and then this is our process to get things done, get these people out of here.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine enticing like the USPSA American crowd into volunteering to like do nothing all day except reset stages. Like, I just don't see how that would be possible. They just, I guess they would just have a better attitude about it there.
Well, I mean, like say for Area 6, I think that's how Infinity was able to do World Pistol Shootout. They fully comped everyone and then added an additional, like, here's your per diem of staffing days. So that, and then I don't remember who exactly they got for doing target reset. I want to say it was some Boy Scouts near Gordon, which is where Infinity is. But I want to say that's pretty much the same process. It's just in America, we're like, well, we want more. You need to pay us more. So work expenses. That's probably what it all turns into.
Did you talk to any of the locals?
Yeah, Matt, hit me with your best French pickup line.
I didn't. I literally all I did was speak picture. It was like, I want that. Okay, cool. Like, I guess talking to locals, I did talk to Eric a little bit. It's like, hey, how did this come to be? And it's like, I wanted a private academy where I could shoot and do some cool stuff. I want to put on matches that are cool, that are fast, and get people out fast.
I guess like I want to find out like what was the demographic of the like average French shooter. Would you say they are in a certain like income range that might be outside the normal person?
They're definitely living comfortably. But like not all of them are like, making Khoi bucks, if you will.
Take it easy, guys.
But I mean, yeah, the vast majority of the shooters at the match were largely recreational. They're just kind of there to have fun. None of them necessarily an actual sport shooter, if you will. Like, not necessarily a whole bunch of sweats. Like, anyone who was a sweat, if you looked into overall results, was pretty much within 25 and up.
Okay, that makes me feel better that there's not that many sweats in France. Because I was asked to go to France to help with some stuff. And I was like, well, they have Eric there. I don't think they need me. But then it seems like they don't really care.
Is this like in the power rankings? There's like elite level competitors. You're like sweats, and then there's like casually trying hard. I feel like you just described casually trying hard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
While I'm here, but I'm not going to try any other time. I'm not about to go home and try.
It's like I will do a GM walkthrough, or I'll do my GM make ready and do all this stuff, and I'll buy all this shit and load ammo and like go through all the crazy gun laws, but fuck dry fire.
Honestly, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys keep talking about me like this. Honestly, like...
I'm not gonna lie, I've been guilty of it.
Speaking of GM make readies, like there was honestly not a lot of people who did like a 2 minute or a long make ready. I want to say the longest make ready that I witnessed was 40 seconds at maximum.
It's
And
also like acceptable to do a GM make ready in IPSC.
Yeah, just because there is a time schedule to pretty much follow. Like everyone was actually pretty fast about it, and also like because you're not allowed to dry fire, you're not allowed to make a sight picture. The only thing you can do with your optic is point it directly at the ground in front of you and adjust your brightness, and that's it. Everything went by super fast.
I don't know.
I'm kind of down with that.
Indoors, but I've adjusted my brightness at the wrong setting because it was at the ground and not at the targets. I don't know if you had that issue as well.
I didn't. I could pretty much just like once I set my brightness to one thing, I was pretty much set for the rest of the match just because the lighting is constant all the time.
Yeah.
I use the auto brightness setting on my dot guns.
Attaboy.
It's pretty sick, actually. It works really well.
I was gonna say that's kind of brave unless you have astigmatism.
No, I don't. It's fine.
Lucky
Sometimes
you.
the dot shifts around a little bit. It's all good.
Yeah, the moment where I was in the shade and I just point at the ground. Oh yeah, my dot's good, and then it turns out the farthest targets were out in the sun.
See, that's why you want the auto adjust. It'll turn it up for you.
Aim point doesn't make auto adjust. I don't think auto adjust is like a very popular feature, right? Like
no one likes it, and I'm like, I think it works fine, guys.
I want to say all the main red dot manufacturers, except for people who are making mill products, so like Aimpoint, EOTech.
Well, Trigicon makes military products, right?
Yeah, but their primary
SRO's not. I realize, but
I'm just saying, all the little kids in the Temu factory put auto adjust on my red dots, so
those little kids know what's up,
right?
The SRO, when you turn it on, it just automatically goes into the auto adjust mode. It's pretty sweet.
What do you mean when you turn it on? Are you guys turning on and off your dots?
I do.
I should probably do.
I'm a production shooter. I don't know how this works. Okay.
It's funny as fuck because that PCSL match, the very first thing I did, pull out my gun on the first stage, and I was like, "Oh fuck, my dot's out of battery." So I literally have no room to say anything.
Anyway, let me finish up before we move into PCSL. But match went by pretty fast, and then once the final squads were done at the end of main match 2, there was a nice little awards ceremony. There was after like the top 3 of every division overall like took their kind of thing, because they recognized who the top like seniors, top ladies, and then the overalls were. There was like a raffle table. Like Eric was just drawing names out of a bag, and then that's pretty much who went to the prize table. And then the top shooter of every division ended up getting a nice little, I think it was like a holster insert and a couple of mag pouches that had a combined value of like 500 euros.
Wait, I was like holster and
it's like
mag.
Yeah, that's like 5 times the value of the match.
Yeah.
So is that just like Eric giving it to himself for multiple divisions? What's that meme where like Obama is putting the medal on Obama?
Yeah. So Eric, because he already has his own holster sponsor, he actually ended up giving for PCC and for production on optics, he gave him to the highest junior shooter for those divisions.
Yeah.
Just because he has a bit of a soft spot for that. I was like, hey, this is the next generation. We need to treat them. Here's to the best of whoever performed across the match.
At least their parents are buying all their shit for them.
So, like, when was the last time you get to tell your parents, like, hey, check out this cool stuff I got from a world champion?
That never happened to me because I sucked at everything.
Exactly.
That's not true. I'm proud of you, Connor.
Thanks, Khoi. I'm proud of you too. We
Thanks,
can be mediocre together.
But yeah, that pretty much outlines my my trip to France and participating in the Eiger Cup. If you're interested in signing up for matches at Eiger Cup, go look at EGCZ Academy, make an account, and then register for either the CZ Cup, which happens in March of 2025, and the 2025 Eiger Cup, which happens in December again. So go check it out.
Would
I
you
know.
recommend to first-time shooters?
No,
Oh, why?
I would not recommend it to first time shooters because one, you need to get some actual match experience so that Eric knows I'm not signing in a brand new dummy into the sport, and I want to make sure that everyone's safe. So like, go get match experience first at your local match, and then go sign up at a major over at Eric's Academy.
Oh, you meant new shooters, not new to there. Okay.
Yeah. Shooters completely new.
Yeah,
First
no.
match should definitely be an international match.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Okay, PCSL.
Okay. So there is a local club that hosts you a PCSL match.
Which club is it?
It's Rooftop. So, one of the things in the Dallas area is that there's nowhere to shoot fucking rifles, right? Like, so I was like, hey, we got some of these local guys, for whatever reason, they're all Asian. I don't know why, but a bunch of the local guys together, and we were like, hey, let's host a PCSL match, and it'd be really cool. We'll get all the USPSA people to join, because there's like no market for a decent rifle match. You have some like 3-gun stuff where you host targets at 3 yards, or like, I don't know what, all the typical 3-gun stuff, right? So I was like, that's not really cool. We want like more variety of skills being tested, et cetera, et cetera. And the stages put out, they're a bit more complex than your stereotypical 3-gun stage, and sometimes that's good, and sometimes, depending on who's shooting it, not so good. But that's kind of the match. What I didn't anticipate was who would be attending these matches, and it's more people who've never competed before. Nothing wrong with that, but when you have a bunch of new people all at once who are unfamiliar with the rules and the process, it gets to be a little bit what's the word I want to use?
Slow.
What's that?
Slow.
I was gonna say fucking exciting.
Yeah, exciting. That could be another thing. So, I don't know, Khoi, you saw some things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not sure how it's possible to like point a long gun like at yourself, but pretty sure I saw that like a non-zero number of times.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with the range itself, or what, because like you can't really control who shows up, right? Like you put it on practice score, and you say, hey, whoever wants to sign up can sign up, and you assume that people will sign up who are signing up for a PCSL match are gonna be more experienced, or at least experienced enough to like do basic things. But then you have a subset who have not had that experience, so they're learning in the process, and we're watching them learn and having to make some corrections or telling them to leave, unfortunately.
Which is funny as fuck, because you remember I'm remembering it now, and I was like, oh, isn't this the match I took my cousin to? So he's like some like 30-year-old guy from Taiwan or whatever, and this is the second time he's ever shot an AR, not like at a match, but like just literally the second time he's ever shot an AR ever at all.
First time like at an indoor range type deal, or
Yeah, only indoor range, that kind of situation, and he goes out to this match, and he's like not fucking retarded, and there's a handful of people in our squad that managed to point guns at themselves. Some dude was like sending rounds over the berm until somebody figured that one out, and I don't know, it was kind of exciting. I was like, you know what, I'm not one to gatekeep from like shooting guns, like drawing a fine line here before I sound like a grabber, but like I feel like there should be some intelligence tests required to like employ the use of firearms in the competitive setting.
so you're saying you hate
Do what?
you're saying you hate America and you want Sharia law. That's basically
yes, exactly that. Yeah, it was exciting.
I want to interject here, and all the times I'm sure we've all heard this, where people say, "I can't believe USPSA or IDPA won't let you walk around with a hot gun," or "I can't believe you're not allowed to put your gun and belt on in your trunk. You have to go to a safe tape." Blah blah blah. The people who complain about the rules, it's because of this. You don't know who's going to show up to a match, and even when they have rules like this, people still point guns at themselves.
Like, I'll say a common way to point guns at yourself is to actually bring the muzzle down while you're moving, and you point the gun at your feet. A lot of people did that. Well, not a lot, but enough people did it that it was like something you noticed.
That's a DQ in PCSL also, I'm assuming.
Pointing a gun at your feet? Hell yeah, it is.
It's a DQ.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're drawing, because then there's the 3 foot. I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding.
Well, I've never shot a PCSL match. I assume.
No, I mean it wouldn't count anyways because it's rifle. You know what I mean? But there's so you don't like draw your rifle. But like, it was so funny. The most memorable thing for me was it was right after I shot. I'm pretty sure this guy was like a cop. He's like fucking jacked. I was like, yeah, this dude's kind of handsome. If I was like not straight, like I'd be interested. But he's like fucking completely fucking jacked, and he shoots right after me, and I guess he's like, oh shit, like we just saw this fucking fluffy GM just completely murder the stage. So he tries to go fucking balls to the wall on this thing, and he's shooting the first like 10 shots on two rays or something like that, and I'm like, wow, this guy is fucking cooking. And then like he exits the second position and he like cooks around straight into the ground. And I think everyone turns around and looks at each other like, what the fuck did I just see? Like, it happened so fast. And I was like, holy shit, that was incredible. Like how do you just like shoot a rifle? And then he like does one of these pumps and boom, like load throws him in the ground. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like right next to him?
No, like straight down in front. And
Yeah,
Calvin's trying to do the math. It's like, was that 10 feet?
Jesus.
His explanation for how he MD'd was that he was putting the safety on, and that's how it went off.
Wouldn't that make it not go off?
That's what you'd think. But
I mean, I don't know how rifles work, but
I mean, either way, that's moving with your finger on the trigger.
yeah.
Oh man, is entertaining as fuck. Honestly, I just like stood extra far back.
I feel like if you're closer, you are less likely to get hit.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So a common thing, like, well, what he did after that was when he stopped, he turned around.
Oh gosh.
But in his head, he was safe because the gun was slung, which would be true in every situation outside of a match, right?
So
like,
this is probably a dumb question, but so for PCSL, I'm assuming there's a 180 rule that applies while you have rifle pointed down still, right? Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah.
So if you pull down and pass the 180, you still break the 180.
You know, it's fucking funny. Half the guys tried to do this before. We're like, can you fucking quit? Stop doing this. Like, you guys played like Call of Duty Black Ops or anything like that. So these dudes are out here running with their rifles on slings, and they're like running with their like muzzle up. And like, Jesus fucking Christ, can you stop?
They're either like this, or they're running with both.
That one, and then whenever they would like straight muzzle up. Yeah, like that exactly.
So I'm assuming there was like a pre-match meeting where you guys told them not to break the 180 basically, and they still
legit. I was like, I haven't shot a gun in like 6 months. I'll sit in on the safety briefing. Yes, absolutely. They were told not to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did any of them argue with you when they got
yes,
DQ'd?
Every single one. Every single one.
I kind of saw that coming. Well, people are always like, well, it was still pointed in a safe direction. I'm like, well, okay, but so you did hear the instructions, right? Yeah. So you heard that there's a 180, you're not supposed to point it past it. Yeah. I'm like, so then either you intentionally broke the rule or you didn't know which direction your muzzle was pointed and accidentally broke the rule. I'm like, either way, it's bad. Like, I don't know. I'm like, the fact that it was still a safe direction doesn't really make
just
them
get them slack. They'll learn.
So I will not give them slack on this. Like, I hadn't shot a rifle in like over 6 months. I'm like, how you gonna let a guy that hasn't shot a gun in like half a year to like take second division, third overall? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
They hadn't shot one in 6 months and 3 days.
Oh, okay. True. Like, that is not good.
I'm I don't know. I don't have very high safety standards. Like, you see in Black Hawk Down, where like the Delta guys like go down range while the other ones are shooting. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that.
It depends who's doing the shooting, I guess, for me.
But seeing how some of these guys are unfamiliar with the rifles and what they're just like their body awareness, I was not okay with that kind of shooting. Like, there were guys who didn't like they were fumbling with the safety and charging handle and mag release, like when you told them to like unload and show clear. Like, they weren't.
Who would do that?
It's impressive.
Definitely not me.
I just love this because, like, when I think about USPSA, do you remember for like a year there was a push for like we want a bunch of new shooters in the sport? And I'm like, thank God that didn't happen.
I'm okay with new shooters if they take the time to learn how their guns operate and like figure out which direction the muzzle should be pointed. I mean, we were all new shooters at one point, right?
Nah, I was born this way. I mean, that's why Asians shoot, right?
That's why what?
That's why Asian people shoot, right? Wouldn't you
What?
be saying like a bunch of Asian people shoot in Dallas area? We were just born knowing how to shoot.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like being good at school.
No, but for real though, your first match, like, did you already know how your gun worked, or did you show up and be like, "Hey, I don't know how my shit works, but I want to like compete"?
I can't say anything because I literally brought a new shooter that did not know how. I literally told him. I explained to him at the safe table before the first stage, like, this is the thing that makes the gun shoot. This is the thing that ejects the mag.
Oh, we lost Connor.
Yeah. It's a good thing Khoi's the one doing the recording.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a cultural thing in the States where like people are like to have too much of an ego to like admit that they may not know everything. Like, I'm okay with being a retard. Like, it does not bother me at all. But some people feel like they're never the retard.
Would you shoot it again?
I mean, I like the match. I like what we're trying to do, and I'm not gonna let a few new shooters on my squad like change that. But we're probably just gonna be a bit more, I guess, like conscious of like how we handle new shooters, maybe, and maybe pay more attention. I kind of went in assuming by this point like people would be pretty locked on by now, and that was probably me being a bit too optimistic.
I mean, like, also to be fair, because the match is newer and then it attracted so many more new shooters, it's still going to take some time for all of that to mature into one, the match becoming its own system, and then the shooters having more knowledge of like, okay, this is competition. This ain't big boy world. We need to follow the rules if we want to continue participating in this kind of thing.
Yeah, I've been spoiled, like shooting with the local super squad, like for however many years now. You just kind of show up and expect everyone knows exactly what to do.
Yeah. I guess that's about it.
Yeah. Matt, you coming with us next time?
We'll see. It kind of just depends on how. It just kind of depends on how.
You don't have to. You don't have to tape. I'll tape for you. We'll call it. We'll call it staff reset.
Okay.
I think it's next one, and we're gonna have a retro division too. So it's gonna be.
When's the next one?
January 18th.
Oh shit! I think I'm there.
Ooh.
Oh, you should come. And we're doing lethal weapons we have at home.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, so it was not a requirement. You can still shoot practical or competition, but we're adding a third unofficial division.
Shit, I'm down.
Yeah, so bring your GU 5P or whatever you have.
I'm down.
That sounds like a sex toy.
I mean,
anything's a sex toy if you can frame it up.
That is true.
All right,
Okay.
let's cut it. Let's cut it off.
Okay, so we're done.
Yep.
Thanks,
Okay. Yay.
Same time next year?
Yeah.